Hello guys, this is Sandra here. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. It's lovely to have you here and I hope you're gonna enjoy your time. So today we're gonna talk about I'm not sure I want to call it minimalist, but if I would not work in beauty and if I would not be as much of a beauty hoarder and lover as I am now, and I want to say if I wasn't on YouTube, but my YouTube channel is fairly small and new, so I'm not sure how much of a factor that is. But you know, if I would just have a more minimalist collection, what it would look like, because I've seen this video floating around. I think it's quite an interesting setup. And what I did with mine is that I thought about the time about, I don't know, 6-7 years ago when my collection was a lot smaller, what it sort of looked like, and I tried to condense it down as close to that as possible. I used to have like a small acrylic drawer system, and that's what I put my things in now that you're gonna see in a minute. And this is a bit bigger than the one I used to have before, which I still have, but that's way too small for me to fit stuff in. So you know, I gave myself a bit more away because I still think I would watch YouTube and I would love beauty. It's just more condensed, what I have now. Alright, so here we have our little setup. Please excuse my unpainted nails, I just have to roll with it. But this is what I think I would have as a minimalist. So we have a few eyeshadow palettes and a face palette on the top. And then these 3 drawers. So without me blabbering on for too long, let's go and let me show you what's in there. So let's get the palettes out of the way in the top first. So the first one I have in here is the NYX Highlight and Contour Pro palette. And I think I would still have it even with the Minimalist collection. I mean, look how well loved this is. That's completely gone. There's a huge pen in that, and the rest is well loved as well. And I think the reason why I would have it is because there are 2 powders, one lighter, one deeper, so I could use it both summer and winter. I would have contour shades, I would have bronzer shades, highlighters. So I think this is a palette that I could very well use. This one I could use as an eyeshadow, or maybe even in my brows makes it something else. So I think this would still be a good staple in my collection. And I mean, it's falling apart, which just shows how well loved this is. Now, eyeshadow is something that I still think I would spend quite a bit of money on, just because I think that's something I would still love to play with. So I have 3 eyeshadow palettes on the top, and then we will have a few more in the drawers as well. But the first one I have in here is the Juvia's Place Mini Magic palette, and this is a good mixture of neutrals and colorful shades. As you can see, it's already really well loved and has quite a few dips in there. So I feel like this would be a good palette in my collection where I could create neutral looks, but I feel if I feel a bit more adventurous, then I still have the option to apply some other shades as well to my eyes. It's literally the same deal with the Fenty palette as well. So this is the Moroccan Spice palette. So as you can see, again, this is a neutral palette, but it still has these beautiful shimmery shades that are different from the ones in the other palette that I just showed you. And it has a few more slightly colorful shades like these ones, and the pop of blue, and that emerald. Well, it's not really emerald, but it's between like a green and a blue. So I feel like this is a palette that would still get some really good use out of it, even if I would be just like an everyday consumer, if it makes sense. So I feel like this one would definitely be well loved as well. And the last palette on top is my newest one, I think. No, it's not the newest one, but it's one of the newest palettes in my collection personally, and it's already getting a bit dirty. But it's the Anastasia Norvina palette. I mean, look at it. It has so many beautiful colors, but it's fairly neutral. There we go, that might be easier to see the colors. It's fairly neutral, but again, it still has a few pops of color, and then these shades would go beautifully with the shades in the Juvia's Place palette. So I feel like, again, this is something that would be versatile enough for me to use and enjoy. So this one would definitely be a nice addition to my eyeshadow palettes. And now I can zoom you in so we can see what's in the drawers. Alright, so if we open the first drawer, these are my Complexion choices. And I think if I would only be like an everyday beauty lover, primer would not necessarily be something that I would invest a lot of money in, and I think I would go for something that's quite pore smoothing. So I'm pretty sure I would go for something cheap and cheerful that still gets the job done, which is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I feel like this would be a great addition to my collection, and it would get the job done without me having to spend a lot of money on it. What I would spend money though, I feel like, is my foundation. So for that I went for the Charlotte Tilbury Light Wonder Foundation. If you've been on my channel, you will probably know that I love this foundation. I mean, it's pretty well loved, there's not a lot left in there. And I might have two shades, a lighter one and a darker one. My winter shade is number 2, and then usually I can go up to like number 4 in the summer. But I don't have that at the moment, but if I would, that would be in here as well. And foundation never used to be something until just recently that I used to play a lot with, so that's why I only have one in there. And then concealer wise, I would probably have this one, which is the Collection Lasting Perfection. As you can see, the writing is almost gone. I have it in the shade Fair, and I feel like this is a good option for even giving more coverage to my foundation. So if I feel like this doesn't give me enough, then I can use this under it to up the coverage. And again, concealer is not something I ever used to play with a lot until like maybe 2 years ago. So I feel like I would not have that many, hence I only have one. Now, powder is something I would definitely not spend a lot on. I would just probably have a cheaper option from the drugstore. So I put here the Collection Pressed Powder. It's really nice, it's simple, it gets the job done, nothing special. Another one I might have in here that you've seen a lot is My Essence, all about matte, but that's falling apart. So I thought, let's put this in here. The rest of them are complexion products, and I feel like that's where it would be a bit more diverse between high-end and high street. So let's start with blush. One that I have here is this Milani Luminoso. It's an iconic product for a good reason. It's beautiful, it looks really nice, it's a great formula, really affordable. So I feel like this is something that watching YouTube I would have definitely invested in either way, whether I'm having a bigger collection or not. Another drugstore product is this sleek blush. Now at the moment I have one from Benefit that's really nice, but I'm not sure I would have invested in that. Whereas this one is exactly the same shade, and it dropped once, so I had to repress it, but it looks exactly like NARS Orgasm or the Benefit Bella Bamba blush. Let me just show it to you. It's that typical pink with some gold reflex in there, and it's rose gold by Sleek, if I didn't mention that. So I feel like this is definitely something that would be a really well loved product in my collection. And then when we go for highlighter, for some reason for highlighters I have more higher end options. One I don't think I would mind spending on is this one, as expensive as it is. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow Duo. Now, the bronzer I have in there is a Franken bronzer. It's not the original one. The original one I used up. But even though it's expensive, you can see you have two products in there, and they are both ones that go with my skin tone really, really well. So this would definitely be a product in my collection that I would actually get all my money's worth out. So I feel like this would be a great choice. Another product that's a holy grail status, and I actually had it for a really long time, is the Balm Mary Luminizer. Again, look how well loved this is, even with my collection being huge. And I bought this before I really began to expand my collection. So I feel like because this was so hyped in the blogosphere and on YouTube for so long, this is definitely something I would have gotten sucked into either way, because I was buying this before, again, my collection expanded. So this is definitely something I would own. And another one I have in here is from Becca, and this is just a mini one. This is the Mini Opal. Again, it's a nice color and it's a bit darker than the previous ones that I showed, and I feel like I wouldn't mind spending it on a smaller size product, because I would feel like I can get my money's worth out of it without it taking up too much space. So I feel like this would be again something that I would quite gladly add to my collection without feeling guilty. The next drawer down is more focused on eye products. And what should we start with? Let's start with a few products that are for the eyebrows. So eyebrows are something that I don't think I would want to spend a lot on, just because I find that's quite a boring part of my routine even now. So I think One thing I would buy is this Boutique Eyebrow Defining Gel, and this one I bought from Sainsbury's, and actually it's really good. I really enjoy using it. It's just a clear brow gel which perfectly does the job, and even though I don't think I would be really set on this, I added an eyebrow pencil as well, and this is the number 7 Beautiful Eyebrow. I have this in the shade black, but I could probably get away with something that's a bit more brown, but I can still use this and it's fine. But I only added this one because otherwise I feel like most of the time I would just use a brown eyeshadow and be done with it, so you know, I wouldn't be too fussed about this. Then I have 2 more eyeshadow palettes here. One is the Becca Ombre Nudes palette. So this is just a really nice warm toned selection, and I love warm tones. I feel like this would be a perfect everyday palette, and it would be something that would be really easy to grab in the mornings when I don't want to think about too much what I want to use. Then I also added one of my e.l.f. bite-sized palettes because I feel like at a really affordable price of £3 I could add some colours that otherwise I don't necessarily have in my collection. This is the Hot Jalapenos, so it's just a beautiful selection of greens and golds, and I feel like this would complement the other palettes nicely while still adding something different, and I would definitely be willing to pay £3 for a bit of addition, and again it's so small so it wouldn't take up a lot of space. Another easy way for me to add some more variety to my collection would be single shadows, so I added 3. One of them is from Urban Decay, and it's the Solstice eyeshadow. It's beautiful. It has like a greeny shift to it, but the base of it is more like a reddy browny color, and it can transform a single brown eyeshadow into something a bit more intricate, so this would definitely be a good way to add some more variety to my collection. Another single shadow would be from Kiko, and this is part of their new collection actually. This is the Unexpected Paradise Magnificent eyeshadow in the shade Lilac Moon. And this is just a really nice, oh, if I can open it. It's a really nice pinky kind of shade that shifts to purple, just right there. It's beautiful, and it would be again quite an easy shade to work into my collection with the rest of the shades while still adding something a bit different to it. And this one came in a set with an eyeliner pencil that I'm going to show you in a minute. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Nocturnal Cat Eyes eyeshadow in the shade Silver Leopard. And this is a beautiful greyy, greeny, beautiful shadow. Let me swatch it for you. There we go, so it has a hint of green in it, but it's still grey as well at the same time, and it's one of those shadows that if you just blend something in your crease and then add this on your eyelid, you're quite easy, you're ready to go. You look at that. So again, this would be, I feel like, a good addition. And another way to inject some color would be eyeliners. So the first one is the Charlotte Tilbury Rock and Coal pencil in the shade Black Magic. So this one came with the eyeshadow that I showed you a second ago, so it's a really similar color. So it's not black, it's not grey, it's not green, it's just a really nice, interesting color that's beautiful as a liner. Then I have a purple one here from Kiko. Whoops, I broke that. But there we go, it's like an almost black kind of purple. Sorry, it melted a bit in the heat, so it's quite a bad swatch. I love having a blue as well, so I would add the Berry M High Vis eyeliner, and this is in the shade Caution, which is just a nice bright blue, and these ones tend to be really nice with brown eyes. Then another one that goes amazing with brown eyes is this Kiko Intense Color Long Lasting eyeliner in the shade 11, so this is just a nice green. And again, all of these apart from the Charlotte Tilbury are really affordable. And then I would just have a simple black eyeliner from number 7. This is the Stay Perfect Amazing Eyes Pencil. So this would be just a great black that's easy to smudge out but stays on really nice as well. Then also I thought that when there's a sale going on, I would pick up probably a trio, like this, just for a bit of fun and variety. So these are all from Urban Decay, and these are the heavy metal eyeliners. I mean, look at them. Isn't that just beautiful? So we have the shades Volume for the pink, Starfire is the copper one, and then we have Midnight Cowboy, which is the gold. So I feel like when these would go on sale around Christmas or Black Friday, I would pick up this trio, not necessarily full price, but on a sale, and then I could just have some fun with these as well. Now the only things we have left are mascaras, and these are the Too Faced Better Than Sex, which is my all-time favorite mascara, and then also the Milk Makeup Kush Mascara. And this one I find is more of a va-va-voom kind of strong thick lash, whereas the Milk one is something that's a lot more natural, and also I feel like this is a bit more long lasting, so these would complement each other nicely depending on what I would like to do. And maybe I would have like one more edition that's like the Essence Lash Princess or something that's from the drugstore, but I don't mind spending on mascara, funnily enough. And that's all that's in my eyes drawer, so we only have one drawer left. So this last drawer has 2 complexion products in it that I couldn't fit in the other drawer, and then the rest is lip product. And similar to the eyeshadow products, I feel like lip products would be something I wouldn't mind spending on, and that's something that I could switch up a bit more often just to change my look. So let's start with the 2 complexion products. The first one I have in here is a cream contour, and this is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand. I feel like even if my collection would be a lot smaller, this would be something I would love for the convenience of it, and it is really easy to use, so it would be just something easy in the mornings again when I want to get ready quickly and don't have much time. Another product that would intrigue me is this Flower Beauty Blush Bomb, and I have mine in the shade Melon, which is just a really nice corally pinky kind of color that would give me a nice fresh complexion really quickly. And it has such a nice formula as well. And then everything else is for my lips. So let's start with the lip liners because I added quite a few. Let's start with the neutral ones, shall we? So I have 2 from Charlotte Tilbury. I have Pillow Talk and Iconic Nude. These would be both quite easy to use on an everyday basis. One of them is a bit more pink. The other one is a bit more of like a cool toned nude. So this one is Pillow Talk, and then this one is Iconic Nude. I'm a bit sweaty, so I think that's what I was watching a bit funny. Sorry about that, but they're both beautiful colors and would be quite handy to have. Then I have one that's a bit more pinky again, which is from Becca, and this is their liner in the shade Blissful, which is a bit more pink toned than the Charlotte Tilbury one, but still very much neutral. And then I would have one that's a bit darker, which is the Urban Decay 1993. And it's still a bit different from the other ones. And also it came in a set with the same named lipstick. I don't know why it was so hard to say, which I'm going to show you in a second. And then I would have a true red one, which is the Becca lip liner in the shade Playful. And this is just a beautiful classic red, or like a pinky red really, which is my favorite. But you can also use it with an orangey red, I tried it before. Then I would have 2 lip liners that are more on the pink side. One is the NYX Slide On Glide On lip liner in the shade Rosy Sunset, sorry. Which you can see is slightly different from the Becca one. And then I have the Revolution Satin Kiss lip liner that looks a lot like the Charlotte Tilbury ones. And this is a really bright pink, and this is in the shade Cutie. So I feel like this could be a really nice lip color even on its own. And then I would have a darker one just for days when I feel like I want to be a bit more daring. This is from Milani, and this is their Easy Liner for Lips in the shade Sugar Plum. And it's so hot, I'm breaking my products, but there is Sugar Plum. Then I would have 3 lip glosses. One is from Illamasqua, and this is quite old. It's called Intense Lip Gloss in the shade Mauve. So it's just a really nice mauvey, purpley kind of color, but it's still fairly neutral. So I feel like this would be good for everydays. Then I have my Becca one that's really well loved and quite gross looking at this point. But this is the Glow Gloss in the shade Flamboyant, and this is one of those that, depending on your skin's pH balance, turns to your perfect shade of pink. Kind of like what you can see on the tube. And one of my recent favorites is this e.l.f. lip lacquer, and this is in the shade Wild Rose, and it's more like a more muted version of that Illamasqua one. It's such an underrated product. I don't know why is no one talking about this or not enough people. It's such a wonderful product. I truly, really love this. And then I have a product that's in a pencil form, but it's a gloss. It's the Kiko, I'm not even sure what it's called, crayon gloss. And really what it is, it's a crayon, but it's a really glossy, comfortable formula. And again, it's like one of those mauvey, purpley, but fairly nudie kind of colors. It's really beautiful. So I would love to have this for the convenience. And then I'm sure that apart from lipsticks, I would have like a tinted lip balm. So this is the Fruit Color Balm in the shade Rare Coral. And again, in true Sandra fashion, it's just a nice light pink that would give a hint of color while also hydrating my lips. For lipsticks, I was trying to include pretty much, I was trying to include pretty much every single shade that I would probably use. So I have two nudes. One of them, as I mentioned, is the Urban Decay 1993 Vice lipstick. This is just a really nice nude, and it's the one that's pairing up with the same named lip liner. It's just a nice, cool toned lipstick. Then another nude I have is the Kat Von D studded lipstick in the shade Lolita. So this one would be a bit more pinky. Then moving on to stronger colors, I would have the Charlotte Tilbury Amazing Amal lipstick. And I love the fact that these are refillable. Again, this one is still fairly nude, but a bit stronger and a lot more pinky than Lolita. And then I would have two stronger colors. One of them is the Charlotte Tilbury lipstick in the shade The Queen. So this is a beautiful pinky red, which is the kind of red I prefer. There we go. And then also I would have the Becca lipstick in the shade Hot Tamale, which was a limited edition shade with Chloe and Malika. And this is a beautiful orangey kind of red, which again is a shade that I'm obsessed with in the summertime, and I love that kind of shade. So that would be the last lipstick I would include. Alright, I already started organizing up my collection as usually it is. Hence the mess on the side. And then I realized that I had three products like propped up on the top like this to talk about, and then when I moved this into frame I forgot to talk about them. So here we go as a little addition. So the first product is the Becca Skin Love Glow Shield, and I love this. So if I would have gone into store to smell it, that would have been it. Like, it smells straight up like my childhood. It's a lovely moisturizing skin mist that's a setting spray, but you can use it to prep your skin as well. And this is my second or third bottle, and I'm really well down on it. So this is definitely something I would have in my collection, but it's just too big to actually fit in the drawers, and that's why it was on the top. Now this one I feel like would be something that I would pick up more on sale to experiment with. And this is again the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector Liquid in the shade Champagne Pop. And this is, I mean, look at it. It is definitely used. And I feel like this is something that I would not necessarily want to spend like 30 quid on. But if it's on sale, I would happily buy it and try it. Because again, at one point, so many people were talking about the liquid highlighters of Becca as well. And then the last product is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Because again, so many people talked about this. And it's just such an iconic product. And the only other bronzer I included is the NYX Pro Contour and Highlight palette. So I feel like I would like to have more options when it comes to bronzers. And this is fairly inexpensive, easy to access. And again, so many people loved it that I feel like I couldn't have really gone wrong with it. But it's a bit too bulky to fit into any of the drawers properly. And that's why it lived on the top. Okay, now we actually talked about all the products. Great. Oh my god, sometimes you just have to fail as a YouTuber and realize that you haven't filmed everything. Oh well, we got there now. Here we go guys, this is the end of the video. Let me know what you thought. I know it might be more than what some people deem as a minimalist, and maybe less than what someone else is, so you know, it's quite personal what you think is minimalist. It's definitely a lot smaller than my current collection, and I don't think I will ever go back to having so small a collection, or at least not in the foreseeable future. but I thought it would be still quite fun to play around with the idea. So let me know what you think, and if you have a big collection, what would you keep in your minimalist selection of makeup? I don't know, let me know. What is your favorite category? But for now I'm gonna go. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to my channel. It would mean so much to me. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and I have the occasional random Saturday videos as well. They are all in the beauty realm, especially makeup, because that is my true passion. But for now I'm gonna go. I hope you have a lovely day, and bye bye.